Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chan. And remember I told you I'm watching Scandal. I'm on season 3, episode 14. And this is the episode I have been looking for when B613 finds someone to take a fall so they can cover up something that they have done wrong. You know, they'll do whatever they need to do to get what they want. I found it. Let's go. So James, this is Cyrus's husband, had to take one for the team because he knew all into the situation that Sally Langston's husband was doing because Sally unalived her husband. So James had to go and 2 other people had to go. But Jake took him out and left David Rosen. So David Rosen is on the scene. This is his friend, but he has to lie and say that James was unalived due to a carjacking because that's what Jake said he had to do. Cyrus is in a catatonic state. He is utterly devastated. He has nothing to do with it. He's having flashbacks throughout the entire episode, and Olivia is trying to calm him down. Right here, she is telling him that we're going to find out who did this and we're going to send them to jail for life or longer. So this is the first flashback. This is where James met Cyrus, right? He was asking for a little story. Cyrus pretended like he hadn't read his article. And then he told him, you need to shave. So with all this happening, Sally Langston has gained her sense because on the last episode, that's when she unalived her husband and she went in a catatonic state. Like Sally said, she hadn't heard from God and she was about to confess what she had done until Fitz through the debate. So now she's on her game, right? Fitz through the debate, she found God, and now she's on the game, and she's calling Fitz to say she's gonna take a pause with everything because she's running against Fitz right now due to the fact that James has passed. But she is in fact in talks with the people for the gun control, and she's trying to get the up on Fitz. So this is her calling Fitz, telling him all that. Of course, Millie's like, nope, this is not the time to do it because we need to be out here with it because Sally's going to take it and run. And that's exactly what she did. So Millie is addressing her team and telling them who was not at the press junket today. And they realize maybe David Rosen could have something to do with it. So she sends Abby to go find David. Abby finds David. David is not going to tell her the truth. Abby is who she is and knows David is lying. It's going to be okay. Hold on. So now she is calling Jake. Jake is apologizing for the unaliveness of James. And she was like, I need you on this. He was like, in a minute, I'm a little busy. Jake was covering the grave up with the 2 women that he unalived. So he could not do anything because he is a little busy. In the meantime, whoever this is, Maya Wallace, Olivia's mom, she is out here running amok. So this Adnan Salif chick has paid her all of this money. She thought that Maya was going to do something. Maya was like, no, I'm not going to do anything. I'll find somebody to do it. So now the girl is nervous because she wants it to stay between them. She was like, I got this. Meanwhile, Cyrus is really coming undone, right? He is yelling at everybody, and Olivia is taking care of everything because now he has found out that Sally Langston is in talks with the people with the gun control situation that she has stolen from under Fitz. Olivia says she's going to handle it. So now Cyrus is doing a flashback to when James had clocked his tea, right? And he was trying to let James know, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So Huck had gone into the safe and the files to get something for Olivia, and he realizes that some stuff is out of the way, right? Of course, he has a camera in there, so he goes and he watches the film. Now, this is Lance. This is the part I was talking about, okay? When I said people would do things, set up things, put people in places so things can happen so they can get to the next level or get something they want. This is Lance. Lance has a liver problem. So Quinn and Charlie have gone to give him a deal. He has a liver problem. He needs a transplant. They give you transplants in prison. So Lance here is going to take the fall for the carjacking that happened to James. This man going to prison. He going to get what he need, but he's going to prison for life. So David is sitting here listening to them grill Lance, knowing Lance has not done anything, but knowing Jake has given Lance to him on a platter because Lance is who did this to his friend, right? And this is what David has to say. So David is not ready right now, but hold on. So at this moment, Fitz is on the inside giving the speech. Cyrus is outside reciting the speech. James comes out, flirt with him a little bit, and he was like, "What are you doing?" He grabs him, kisses him, and their relationship starts. This is a flashback. Now, Sally is on her way to talk to the people with the ammunition, right? But then they get a call that Air Force One or Air Force Two has been grounded. So now she has to be rerouted. So she can't make her appointment. So they send Melly and this dude that's running for vice president with her, right? So she goes over there. She talks to the guy. The guy said, "I really want to go with Sally Langston." And she's like, "What if Fitz gives you something, like a speech or something?" So Melly kind of works it out. Back to Olivia's mama. So now Olivia's mama is the truth. So she's in this meeting, and these are not the regular people she's supposed to be meeting with because this girl needs to meet with somebody. So she unalives this dude right over here at the far end, and she tells this dude right here, tell him that she needs a meeting. So that's exactly what happened. So now Huck comes in here and lets Olivia know that with the cameras that he's installed in the safe, this is Quinn who had broken into the safe, right? So Olivia's like, "You put a camera in there?" He was like, "Yeah, because David Rosen had broken it last time, but we found out who was in there." Well, Huck did. So Olivia's over here at the B613 office because Jake is now command. They took it from her father. So she's like, "Who told you to do this? Who told you to do this?" Jake is getting irritated because it seems like she's been a little disrespectful to him. And as she continues to grill him, he lets her know, "I did it. I'm command. I didn't pull anybody out of the hole. I did it myself." Oh my goodness. Olivia is devastated because now she knows Jake has unalived 2 people that work at the White House and Cyrus's husband. And she cannot believe it, right? And he lets her know, "I'm taking care of it because Lance is here. So don't worry about it." What happened was there was a carjacking and James had to be unalive due to the carjacking. She's devastated. So this is Adnan Salif. After she dealing with Olivia's mama, honey, she looking for anybody to help her get out. But then she get over here, she talking to Harrison, and she gets a little spooked, and then she leaves away from him. Jake has gone to see David Rosen because what Jake cannot understand is why Lance is still in a holding cell and not around here on the news because he unalived James due to a carjacking. He was like, "I gave you Lance. Now get to work. Do I need to come back?" David is so pitiful. Child, Olivia said she needed her daddy because he came in here like, "What do you want?" She was like, "I need you to be nice to me. I need you to be my dad." So he explained to her how many people he had been ordered to unalive, how it affects him, how command works. Then after they finished talking, he said, "Am I finished being your dad?" This is a tough relationship. Child, so since Melly had talked to the man over there and said that Fitz would make a speech, I cannot remember this dude's name, but her and him are talking, and then they get to talking about how long you should take to get a firearm and all of that stuff, and then he gets real close. He was like, "It's a shame that he doesn't see you for the woman that you are." Baby, it went down. It was a bounce house situation so fast. Melly and them have thrown a couple of them back, but honey, she's happy. Abby has finally worn David down, and David lets her know the only reason he is standing here in front of her is because he now has to incriminate and put in jail an innocent man because that's the only way he can be here because Jake gave him somebody to say who unalived James. Child, this is a lot. Then Huck has come over here to unalive Quinn because he realized she was in the safe, but then he said, "I trained you. I made you. You wanted me to see you. You're B613. I don't know how this happened. I think it was him. It wasn't her. Child, they all coming here giving them their problems. She talking about David. He talking about Quinn. He talking about the girl in the parking lot. Comatose. So Olivia is here at the Lincoln Memorial letting David know you have to prosecute Lance. That's the only way this is going to work. Baby Cyrus was trying to give this speech. He had a flashback when they started dancing together and everybody knew what it was. And baby, he broke down right there at the podium. Me too. At the end of the day, Jake stayed with James until he left. He said, "I'm sorry that it was so sloppy," and he told him that his daughter would be okay. Y'all, this is so good. Talk to you later.